In 2023, Transformers Legacy pretended it was a Digimon with Transformers Legacy Evolution. Special shout out to our channel members, including Sound Squadron Captains, Infinity Wartorn, Dun Dun Ranger Power, JoJo Star, Jamie's World, Spin Dash 54, Super Shaddix Boom, Toma K, Matthias Laura, Donnie Waldman, Jeremy Carr, MJ Klein, Infinite 1985, SSJ4 Jason, Oma Ender, Scrublord Gaming, Psycho O's, and Kyle. If you want to join, hit the join button down below for more details. Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to the Transformers 2023 rundown for Legacy Evolution. Last year, we talked about Transformers Legacy in the first Transformers rundown on the channel. And by we, I do mean me and my graphic designer, DarkClass643. However, this year we decided to switch things up. That video was great, and we appreciate all the feedback on it, but it was way too much work for a single video on Transformers. So this year we've decided to just take a step back. I'm just going to do my part, and we're going to make this a little bit simpler, but still comprehensive as it was last year. And hopefully a little shorter too. That one was pushing an hour. So let's, go through the entire year of Transformers Legacy Evolution, figure by figure, as we do on this channel, with multiple things, as we've done for Power Rangers and Marvel Legends so far, and we'll soon do a G.I. Joe for the 2023 releases. Now, much like with Transformers Legacy, we had a lot of variety in our lineup of characters. It wasn't just characters from G1, but from multiple Transformers series, including adding to the lineup more Armada characters as well as Rescue Bots characters, which is kind of impressive considering that was a preschool series originally. Now, the downside to all of this is that we had way too many releases in a single year. While some of these were repacks or repaints, there was just so many figures that it's a bit daunting. I would love to cover Transformers Studio Series because that is another collector's line that's essentially an extension of the main Generations line that is Legacy Evolution, but I can't. There's too many releases in Legacy to be able to cover Studio Series in the same video, so it just kind of puts me in an awkward spot. Another one of these awkward spots, there's 86 releases this year and I only picked up 34. What was I doing? Buying a ton of Studio Series for a movie? Oh, right, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, there was a lot of Transformers this year. There was a lot of good ones, and I skipped a bunch of them. There was, Wal-Mart Exclusive line had no interest to me whatsoever, and there was a lot of exclusives that I just passed on. But we, of course, are going to talk about each and every one of them, regardless if I have them or not. And when we talk about the ones I have, we will, of course, go into more detail than the ones I don't. But this is to give an idea of an overview of the entire line and give my thoughts on each figure individually. And that is really fun to do, and I like doing these type of videos. So the line, of course, isn't perfect. There are still consistent problems that have hit Transformers for this last several years, which includes budget cuts. There's a lot of use of clear plastic in places I don't like it. There's a lot of gaps in figures, which I don't really care about in most cases. And the price points continue to seemingly climb and climb and climb, and that is going to be continuing problems for the future. But nothing exclusive to Legacy Evolution that was like a widespread problem, except for availability. A lot of these figures were hard to get, even in Wave 1. There are figures I wanted to get, like Tarn, who I just couldn't because I missed him. I missed the little window he was available, and then he was gone. In general, I barely saw any Legacy Evolution in my stores, as Legacy was still on the pegs, and their overall distribution problems seemed to exist. Overstock of some figures, understock of others. So it was really hard to do. Plus, Hasbro would constantly put up reissues up for pre-order for popular figures, and then just never fulfill them. I know people that still don't have Legacy Evolution figures because they're waiting on the restocks from retailers and just, keep getting pushed month and month and month. And so I think Hasbro's putting out a little too much product that they don't have time to go backtrack and reissue things that are popular, and that's a major problem. Now, those, of course, are things that have hit Transformers recently across all the lines and across several years. But I always want to bring those up and mention them as they continue to be problems. If they improve on any of these things, I will, of course, mention them in a video. But with all that said, we do have a lot to cover, and there's a lot to talk about, so we need to begin the Transformers Legacy Evolution 2023 rundown. And we're going to do it size class by size class as opposed to wave by wave, just to keep it simple, because not all waves have all size classes. And of course, there will be chapter times in the description in case you're like, I don't care about the cores and want to move on to the deluxes, which is totally valid. So before we get started, if you do enjoy this type of video, please hit the like button so more people get to see it. Hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already for rundowns like this for other lines and of course Transformers. And of course, hit the comments and tell me anything and ask any questions you have throughout the video. So without further ado, let's begin the Transformers Legacy Evolution Rundown. Core Class, Wave 1. A big focus of Core Class this year was a G1 Dinobot combiner, starting with Dinobot Slug. Sludge was the next one, and the 6 Dinobots, that's right, 6, we'll get to that, combined into Volcanicus. Also rounding out Wave 1 was a repaint of Soundwave into Sound Blaster. Core Class, Wave 2. Wave 2 kicks things off with Grimlock for the combiner, plus we had the prerequisite Nemesis Prime repaint that all Optimus molds must be made in. And rounding things out was Thundercracker, completing the Seeker trio. Core Class, Wave 3. Wave 3 featured Dinobot Scar, who is a new character to round out the 6 Dinobot combiner. Plus we have another classic in the form of Swoop, and a repack of Starscream for good measure. Core Class, Wave 4. And Snarl completes the Dinobot set and the combiner itself. Deluxe Class, Wave 1. Our first Deluxe figure really belonged in Legacy, and that was Breakdown. Breakdown was the final component of Legacy's Menasor combiner, and I literally shot this footage a year ago because this guy's only been a leg since. He was actually packed in a Legacy box, which means while he's the first Legacy Evolution Deluxe, he does feel like he's part of the previous lineup. Next up from the Armada universe, we have Hotshot. Now, Armada Hotshot hasn't had the best luck with toys, but I honestly think this is probably the best one overall, even if it's not amazing. Weapon options alone are pretty great. He's got that double-barreled cannon thing that always is weird to hold. His minicon gimmick of the axle cannon is still intact, even if it's not spring-loaded this time, which I much prefer. And if you have the Armada Starscream from Legacy, you can use the Starsaber with this Hotshot, which was a smart way of doing it. His vehicle mode overall is nice, compact, and neat, and they did a good job making the clear windows look like there's something inside, even if it's just robot bits. Next we have Needlenose, Sunbeam, and Zigzag. First up with Needlenose, he is one of the double target masters from later in G1 and casts a striking silhouette that invokes the original toy. Sunbeam and Zigzag are target master buddies who are in the more simplistic style as was appropriate for the era. Naturally, they both become 2 different style of guns, which could be combined if you so wish. And of course, Needlenose can hold both of them in his robot mode, looking fantastic. Plus, in jet mode, not only is this a bricky looking plane, it does hold the 2 guns under each wing, which gives it a nice symmetrical look. Rounding out Wave 1 is this year's Weaponizer subline, being the Junkions with Scrap Hook. I always give the Weaponizers a shot, even if I ultimately don't end up liking them, and Scrap Hook's no different. While he's got this cool, like, Mad Max-inspired Junkion design, the split-apart gimmick thing just doesn't work for me. I do like that he can transform to robot to truck without a ton of parts forming, which is nice and an improvement over previous Weaponizers. Deluxe Class, Wave 2. Kicking off Wave 2 is Crosscut. Crosscut is your prerequisite Skids remold / repaint, where he's now silver with a new head. And I really like the Skids mold a whole lot, so this totally works for me. And it's a pretty cool repaint overall. And I do like the way his car mode came together with the nice silver and red pinstriping, and I do like the red tires in the end. The next Deluxe was another Junkion, this being Crash Bar, who was a motorcycle with a sidecar. Looked neat, but again, I'm just not into Weaponizers. Next we have a new universe joining Legacy with Animated Prowl. A distinctively chunkier take on Prowl in the original design. I do think they overall translate the look well. Plus he does have the classic gimmick of the 2 shuriken that come from his hubcaps, and they still do the rotate out gear gimmick. The vehicle mode's pretty nice, and actually I think is the best part of the figure, but overall it's nice to see Animated join the lineup and it not get lost in its own design like it did with Prime. Rounding out the wave is Shrapnel, the second Insecticon. Casting a very G1 accurate silhouette and including 3 separate guns, this guy is fully decked out. This is distinctively G1 Shrapnel and it looks awesome. I just love that we're getting these updates to the Insecticons that are larger as they should be. Plus his bug mode is appropriately a brick with legs. That's how it was in G1 and that's how it's here. Deluxe Class, Wave 3. Kicking off Wave 3 we have Beachcomber with the Paradise Parakeet. Beachcomber himself is very nice, a nice update to the original design, and just in general a really cool looking figure. I love the details they gave him, I think the expression's really great, and his Paradise Parakeet sits on his shoulder well. In fact, yes, the Paradise Parakeet, which has its name now, is a soft little rubber piece, but it can plug onto multiple parts of Beachcomber's body. And in Dune Buggy mode, not only can the Paradise Parakeet perch on him, but the tires are made of a softer plastic that resembles rubber, but doesn't feel like it's going to degrade in 5 to 10 years like the old rubber tires would. Next up, another Junkion, this time Axle Grease, which is a more Decepticon-themed remold of Scrap Hook. Next we have DevCon, a G1 character who only appeared in the cartoon, never had an official toy before that wasn't a BotCon item. This is a clever engineering reuse of Studio Series Blur to create a DevCon that I think works for everybody. If you're looking for a figure of this guy, I don't think you can go any better than this. This is pretty solid for a character who appeared in a single G1 episode. His weird looking hovercraft vehicle mode is also well replicated here. I don't really have any bigger notes on this, but it's nice to finally get an official DevCon. Deluxe Class, Wave 4. Kicking off Wave 4 is Bombshell. Now Bombshell rounds out the original Insecticon trio and looks striking, super blocky, super fun. From every angle this looks distinctively like G1 Bombshell, from the animated series all the way to the toy line. Plus his bug mode is a box with legs. Exactly what we all wanted. As a trio, all three Insecticons look fantastic together, especially in robot mode where their personalities shine in their distinctiveness. It was also nice we didn't have to wait 3 years for Bombshell from Kickback. Also in this wave is Detritus, the E-Hobby repaint of Hound. Yeah, that's right, we haven't gotten Earth Mode Hound yet, but here's the mold, so where's the regular one? Next we have Robots in Disguise 2015 Strongarm, being the first RID-15 figure in the line, and she is a nice retool of Elita 1. And rounding out the wave, we have Cyberverse Shadow Striker. Now in Cyberverse, Shadow Striker is more known for being an amalgam of parts as a cyborg, but this toy goes for the RID Sideburn retool that the original BotCon Shadow Striker was. Which also means, as an RID 2001 fan, I'm looking at this going, so Sideburn's coming, right? Voyager Class, Wave 1. Hailing from Beast Wars II, Leo Prime, also known as Lio Convoy. This is an excellent representation of Lio Convoy from Beast Wars II, and it's amazing that it was a mass retail product. He's got the opening matrix cavity chest compartment, and he also features the flip-out guns and spike modes from the original toy. Not to mention he turns into this really awesome looking lion, a very clean beast mode. The lion mode also has an attack mode with all the guns displayed around his head. And when I said a clean lion, it's a pretty clean lion. There's barely any visible robot bits, which is really impressive. Here's a figure I wanted to get, which was Tarn. I didn't get a chance to get him, but he is a fantastic mold. Voyager Class, Wave 2. From Master Force is Metal Hawk. This is a very clever, extensive retool of Cyclonus, and I'm again amazed that we had a Metal Hawk figure at general retail. They definitely went for a look that matches the Master Force anime, and I'm grateful for it, because I think it looks great. Plus, his jet mode is super clean and super slick, and it has that silky smooth Cyclonus transformation. Next up, Twin Cast and Rewind from the Headmasters. This was basically inevitable once they released Blaster, since it's just a simple repaint, but it's one that works. Of course, he has the classic boombox mode, including the antenna being the rifle, and still intact is the opening door gimmick to hold cassette tape robots. Rewind here is cast the same plastic as the front window, so he's transparent black, and is a nice little robot that's very similar to Eject. It's really cool to get cassette bots with the partner, and I really like that idea of the pack-in, though I do wish Rewind had some weapons. Voyager Class, Wave 3. Next we have a repack of Dirge, who was originally an exclusive to a multi-pack, so it's nice to see him back out again, and Nemesis Leo Prime, representing the Leo Prime clone from Beast Wars II. Voyager Class, Wave 4. Next up is Comic Universe Bludgeon. This is a nice reuse of the Tarn mold and giving me a second chance at that while also making a really cool Bludgeon figure. It's the kind that can kind of go between different universes. While it's advertised as Comic Universe based on the IDW books, this could also work as a Cyberverse Bludgeon because Legacy does make some changes to designs. Overall, it's a great figure, and while I would have also liked to have had it in black and purple, this is a great substitute. And then rounding out the Voyagers for the year is Trashmaster, part of the Junkion line, who was able to combine with the previous two weaponizers to make a crazy dinosaur thing that there never was a promo image for. Leader Class, Wave 1. Our first Leader Class figure is a repack of Transmetal 2 Megatron. Next up, we have the Prime Universe Skyquake. I love this figure. The molding of the G1 design with the Prime design just made a beautiful looking robot mode. Not to mention his unique weapons, but specifically the way that they integrated the chest design from the G1 into the Prime design itself. And the vehicle mode is a perfect merger of the two. I could definitely see this guy coming back around as a G1 Skyquake. Plus they kept the gimmick from the G1 toy where you can connect figures like Needle Nose in vehicle mode onto the top, and it does hold secure. Leader Class, Wave 2. Next up we have Armada Universe Megatron. Robot mode wise, this guy looks very striking and very anime accurate. However, his articulation is severely limited because he doesn't have lateral shoulder movement. But at least he does have his minicon gimmick intact with the spinning cannons, and his tank mode is spot on perfect, being that classic H-tank design. And overall, the Armada collection for the 20th anniversary is a well-rounded experience. Leader Class, Wave 3. Rounding out this year's leaders was Dreadwing, a repaint of Skyquake with some different weapons. I'm super into it because I really love this mold. And Dreadwing's great. I think he's the more famous of the two from Prime, but I'm also looking forward to this mold being in multitude of colors. Machine Wars Starscream, King Atlas, G1 Skyquake, give me them all. Commander Class. Our Commander Class this year is just in time for Armada's 20th anniversary, Optimus Prime. I did do a full video review of Armada Optimus already, so go check that out if you haven't, but we'll go over the basics here. Of course, Optimus is featured with his truck cab and trailer fully decked out. The cab turns into the smaller robot form of Optimus Prime seen in the series. The trailer converts into a base mode, which isn't that impressive overall, but most base modes aren't. And of course, Optimus combines this trailer to form the Super mode. The only thing missing was a minicon. Titan Class. This year's Titan Class was the Decepticon Nemesis ship turned into a robot. She looked cool, but I ultimately just kind of forgot she came out because she wasn't really a named character prior to this. Generations Selects. First up we have Magnificus, which is the Diaclone colors for Perceptor. This is using the Studio Series 86 mold with a new head. Next up, the Guardian Robot and Lunar Tread, which is a repaint of Omega Supreme to resemble the Guardian robots from G1. And we also have Antagony, which is a black repaint of Inferno based on a BotCon figure. Amazon exclusive Pre-Cybertronian War Collection. This year's Amazon exclusives are based on the pre-Cybertronian War timeline in IDW, including the 2-pack of Data Clerk Orion Pax and Senator Shockwave. Next 2-pack is the Senticon Cascade and Senate Guard Javelin. These are really cool sets and represent a really cool time in the comics. Especially the third set, Minor Megatron and Senator Ratbat, which Megatron Origin readers will recognize. I ultimately didn't end up picking up most of these. Like Nacelle. Nacelle is another Starscream Seeker and specifically was seen in the 2019 IDW continuity. The one I did pick up was Nova Prime. Nova Prime being a retool Galaxy Optimus Prime does mean he has an inner robot, but who cares about that? Because this is the Nova Prime that we got, and I think they did a pretty good job with what they had to work with. Nova Prime was never going to get a unique mold, and using Galaxy Optimus was a good base because he resembles how he looked in Transformers Devestation. And the truck mode does look nice, though I never plan to display it like this because he's kind of a robot mode only guy to me. Hasbro Pulse exclusives. Alright, first up we have the War Dawn 2-pack of Dion and Ariel. Dion was Orion Pax's buddy back in Cybertron before Orion was Optimus Prime, and just like Orion, this is a Studio Series Cup retool. Which means yes, it does resemble the character from the episode with its blocky and round shapes. However, much like every version of this mold, it's gotten looser over time and I'm really sick of it. But at least the truck mode looks nice and those extra orange pylons add a lot of detail. His packmate is Ariel, who was Orion Pax's girlfriend. The one who would later be remodeled into Elita 1 here is presented as a Prime RC retool. And a pretty extensive one at that, giving a completely different shape to her vehicle mode. Pairing this with the Heroes Born 2-pack from last year of Orion Pax and Alpha Trion makes a nice set based on this classic flashback episode. For PulseCon, there was a set of Powerlinks Hotshot and Jolt, which is the first time Jolt has been offered in Legacy style. It was $45 and I just could never justify that price. There also was a neat set of Optimus and Bumblebee in Core Class style where Optimus came in the trailer. Pretty cool little set if you're looking to get into Core Class. And if you missed out on Menasor, there was a gift set of Menasor in toy colors featuring all 5 components. HasLab exclusive. Our HasLab that shipped this year was Deathsaurus, Tiger Chest, Eagle Chest, Boater, and Peepo for a second Transformers Victory Lap. Now, I did my own video on this. Full review is on the channel if you want to see all the details, but we'll go through the highlights. This set is packed with so many things, including Deathsaurus' throne and just so many accessories. You have the massive Deathsaurus himself looking amazing. You have Eagle Chest, who's a cool little eagle box that can convert into a cool looking gun. There's also Tiger Chest, the other chest master, and his bow mode that is for Deathsaurus. As you can see on the back of the chair, there's just a ton of weapons that came with this guy. And Deathsaurus' dragon mode is here in all of its death chicken glory. Plus 2 new Micromasters in the form of Boater and Peepo, who are possibly the best Micromasters ever made. And hey, it completes the 4 that appeared in Transformers Victory. Target exclusive Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Our first Target exclusive is Origin Jazz, following up on Origin and Bumblebee from a couple years ago. This is Jazz as he appeared in the first episode when he had a Cybertronian vehicle mode, and they did a good job here. They were able to work in the faux Porsche hood in addition to the overall design that we're used to, but have that extra alien flair. And the vehicle mode turned out really solid. It definitely looks like that vehicle from the first episode, and it's nice to see his collection continuing. This year's RID 2001 rep is Towline. If I knew he was going to exist, I wouldn't have bought Scraphook. This is an okay tow line. At least the colors are correct, unlike a certain Scourge. This is definitely tow line if you went all Mad Max and not quite accurate to the original portrayal, but it's fine. End of the day, he still turns into a tow truck. Even if this tow truck is a little bit more rad than he was in the cartoon, I'm at least happy with it. The last Target exclusive was a Troop Builder multi-pack of a Seeker, a Quintesson Trooper, a Cybertronian Trooper for G-Axis, and an Auto Trooper. So plenty of representation for many lines, and a good way to army build if you want. Walgreens Exclusive. Continuing the first aid theme of Walgreens Exclusives, Autobot Medics from Rescue Bots. This is a figure inspired by Medics from Rescue Bots, not exactly a correct translation, but is a nice reuse of Crankcase to provide a medical character. That being said, Medics is a doctor that comes with 4 guns and 2 shoulder cannons, which is giving me the same vibe as the Doctor from Gundam X. Yes, Medics is here to help, but that does not mean Medics is not going to do harm. The vehicle mode works out pretty good, and there is ports enough to put all the guns that are included, since those 3 extra guns did not come with Crankcase. Wal-Mart Exclusive Toxitron Collection. Kicking off a line of previously unreleased repaints is Studio Series Jazz Jun-Up in the bright orange Generation 2 colors that never released. Here's a watermelon-themed paint scheme for Mirage, very bright, very bright. Our second G2 Stunticon with Dead End. Interestingly, he did not get renamed like Dragstrip did when he got a G2 color. G2 Laser Cycle Jazz has been renamed to just Laser Cycle and is a Road Rocket repaint. This color scheme for Sideswipe probably should have died in the 90s, but here it is, it came out. Cloud Cover will probably add a nice Seeker lineup if you're collecting those. This Tiger Stripe Grimlock makes him almost look like Greymon from Digimon. And the namesake of this collection, Toxitron himself, is actually a canceled Universe repaint, not a G2 one. Top 10 Transformers who aren't Death Stars, because putting him in this ranking would just be unfair. Number 10, Deluxe Class Bombshell. Really like the way he turned out and a nice update to the G1 character. Number 9, Shrapnel. I think a little bit of a step up from Bombshell, and I especially like the weapon options. Number 8, Comic Universe Bludgeon, a fantastic figure from head to toe. Number 7, Metal Hawk, a really smart retool that really works out for the character. Number 6, Armada Hotshot, probably his best toy ever, though a little bit lacking in some areas. Number 5, Needle Nose, an excellent double target master that makes me hope for more. Number 4, Beachcomber and the Paradise Parakeet, just an excellent Autobot car. Number 3, Lio Convoy, just a generally amazing figure. Number 2, the amazing Armada Optimus Prime, just top-notch figure overall. And number 1, Prime Skyquake and Dreadwing. They're essentially the same figure, which is why they share the slot, but I absolutely love this mold and hope it gets repainted 3 more times. So that does it for the Transformers Legacy Evolution 2023 rundown. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's always a lot of work to put these together, and I greatly appreciate all the support on the channel. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. Really helps the channel grow and really helps this video get out to a wider audience. Leave a comment down below, tell me your favorite release of the year, something fun like that, or your top 5. Whatever you wish. And consider joining as a channel member. It helps support the channel directly, helps us do bigger, more exciting videos, and it really helps you get cool perks like early access. Details in the join button and the link down below. You can also check out our live streams on this channel Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern for Transformers news and discussions. If you want to continue the conversation, you can find me and others in our Discord server in the link below, where you can discuss Transformers and other topics as you so wish. Plus, if you'd like, you can find me on social media where I'm less active, at Soundout12 across multiple platforms. Plus, special thanks to my wonderful graphic designer for doing this thumbnail, and also doing all these title cards for the Transformers characters, so it helped fill in the gaps of the figures I didn't own. You can find him on social media and on Discord at DarkClaw643. Plus, you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for news, interviews, toys, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.